Hello and good morning and welcome to the Blood Red Morning Bulletin. My name is Emmet Gates and today I'm joined by my fellow Liverpool.com colleague Ben Bocsak. And Ben, we'll start obviously with a midfielder. As we all know, Liverpool have been linked to seemingly every midfielder that exists in world football at the moment. And the latest name on the list is Southampton's James Ward-Prowse. Reports are emerging this week that Liverpool have scouted the 28-year-old, perhaps with the potential to make a move in the summer. Do you think Ward-Prowse would be a good fit for Liverpool? Obviously he's famed for his free kick ability. I think he scored 17 in the Premier League and he's only one short now of David Beckham. But free kicks aside, do you think Ward-Prowse would be a good fit for Liverpool, or where do you think he ranks in the list of potential summer recruits?
I like him. I think he's a good midfielder. It's crazy to me when you tell me he's 28 because he always feels like a youngster to me. And then you realize he was born in 1994, so it's quite like relatively old. I wouldn't say it's harsh to call a 28-year-old old, but you know what I mean in footballing terms. At least he's getting to the end of his career, and it's kind of unusual for Liverpool to make a transfer for a player like that. You normally, especially nowadays, because Liverpool's midfield needs a bit of a refresh, you'd think they'd be going for younger players. But in terms of quality, like you mentioned, the set pieces, that's one aspect Liverpool already kind of have. I mean, I wouldn't say Trent Alexander-Arnold or Andy Robertson have as much of a prowess as James Ward-Prowse. I mean, James Ward-Prowse is in a league of his own. I can't think of any players in European football who can do what he does. But it's not like Liverpool need a set piece specialist. They do have those players who can hurt and make decisive moments from set pieces. So in that sense as well, I don't necessarily think he's needed. But there is one aspect I think that's crucial when it comes to Ward-Prowse, and that's his homegrown status. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen with James Milner yet. He may or may not extend. We'll see what happens there. But if he does go, I think Liverpool do need a bit of an experienced head, and Ward-Prowse does bring that. And he can be a bit versatile as well. I think I remember writing an article about him like last year, and I saw that he's played right back before. I think he's played left back as well. He's played a bit further up the pitch as well. So he does seem like a typical Jurgen Klopp type of player who Klopp could maybe mold into the next James Milner.
Yeah, as you say, he has the. It sounds like he can be a versatile player, and we've seen Milner for Liverpool play more or less in every position, bar goalkeeper at this point. What if you were Liverpool, say, and Ward-Prowse was someone that you were willing to make a bid for? What type of numbers would you be willing to pay for him? Obviously Jude Bellingham is going to take up. If Liverpool go all in on Bellingham, it's going to drain most of the budget. Do you think there'd be much left for someone like Ward-Prowse, or how far would you be willing to go in order to bring him downfield?
I mean, that's an interesting question. Obviously, at the moment, Southampton are kind of in a relegation fight, so everything depends on that as well. Because if they don't, make it in the Premier League and they get relegated, then obviously that fee is going to be significantly smaller than compared to if they do stay up. Then Southampton do have a bit of a more of a power in terms of keeping Ward-Prowse. But really, if they are relegated, I know he's their captain, but like I said, he's 28 years old. He probably doesn't fancy a season in the Championship, especially when he does have probably aspirations to be in the England squad, and he is an England international. So in that sense, I think Liverpool will certainly have a bit more of a pulling power, and if they can get him for anything in this market between 15 to 20 million, I think that would be a great deal, and a smart deal as well. I think, I know in a great context and a great scheme of things, it seems like a significant fee, but nowadays, if you're looking at the type of transfer fees that are going for some of the players, especially in the Premier League. It's crazy to say, but 15-20 million is cheap for a midfielder these days. Like really cheap.
Yeah, exactly, and especially one with, as we talked about earlier, like a world class ability. Fair enough, it's a free kicks, and he's not going to score a free kick every single game. But as you said, 15 to 20 million in the current climate is a bargain, you would say. But do you think he would be a starter for Liverpool, or do you think he'd be there to pad out the numbers in midfield?
I mean, I call him the next James Milner, so I think that pretty much sums up my opinion on the matter. I think he's going to be just a squad player. I don't think he's. I mean, depending on Liverpool, who Liverpool get in. I mean, personally, I think if Bellingham comes in and Ward-Prowse, and it's only Ward-Prowse, then potentially he could start alongside Bellingham. But you also have Thiago there, Henderson. I mean, even Bajcetic now competing for that position. However, I think I'm hoping if he does come in and Bellingham does as well, I'm hoping it's not just going to be the two of them. I'm hoping we get someone else as well. I think you probably need a defensive midfielder who can play in the holding midfield position and kind of push Fabinho for that role. So if that's the case, and if there are three midfielders coming in, then I don't think Ward-Prowse is going to start. I think he's just going to be a squad player, but what a squad player to have. I mean, that's one of the aspects we love about Milner throughout his career is, he came to Liverpool around the same age as Ward-Prowse. I think he was around 29, 30 when he signed for Liverpool on a free transfer, and he was never a starter really, but he always stepped up when it mattered, and having a player like that is really important, equally as important as having, world-class players in the starting 11. That's how you win, I think, championships and titles, is by having a strong squad.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you make a really good point. But I also think that, James Milner doesn't seem to age. So he was probably 35 when he joined Liverpool, and he's still 35. He's defying time. But we'll move on to Cody Gakpo, who's he had to drop out of the Netherlands squad for their first international match, but it seems he's returned now following a virus, and he's going to be fit, I think, for the crunch game against Man City on Saturday. It'd be a big boost for Liverpool, wouldn't it, Ben, to have Gakpo back? He's slowly finding his feet, I think, in Liverpool and the Premier League, and I think at this point Liverpool can't afford any more players out injured. So it'd be good to have him back.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably glad that he missed the first game for the Netherlands. They got absolutely decimated by the French team, but he came back against Gibraltar, played the second half, came on at half time, and was really impressive. I mean, I know it's only Gibraltar, but at that point, the Netherlands were kind of struggling to break down Gibraltar, and it was only 1-0 at half time. Came on, the final score was 3-0 in the end. He didn't get a goal or an assist, but he did create 7 chances, which is pretty high in 45 minutes. I mean, again, I know it's Gibraltar, but it's still impressive. He completed the most dribbles on the pitch, won all his duels. I think he got a couple of shots on as well. One was on target. Maybe could have scored, but he just looked really sharp. I mean, he showed no signs of, those statistics will show you that he showed no signs of having a virus or being affected by the illness or anything like that. He looked really sharp. He was very good, and I think he's definitely in line to play at the weekend as well against Manchester City. And it's important for Liverpool that he got this sort of 45 minutes in against maybe not the best opposition, but it will be good for his fitness to sort of get back into the room of things. And I think had he not maybe played this game against Gibraltar, he probably wouldn't have started against City. But now with that 45 minutes under his belt, I think he's probably a contender to start.
Yeah, And another player who's kind of slowly working his way back to full fitness is Luis Diaz. And obviously, Ben, it feels like a lifetime since Luis Diaz actually played for Liverpool. I know he's been out since October. Do you think the City game is a game too soon? And when do you think we'll see him back? Do you reckon in a couple of games down the line, or do you think there is a slight chance we might see him off the bench against City?
I think we'll see him off the bench. I don't think we'll see him start. I mean, he has been back training quite a lot, but nothing beats match sharpness. And I think because this game against Manchester City is so important, for City in terms of the title race for Liverpool, in terms of the big getting into the top four, I don't think Diaz is going to start. And maybe he might have had a chance if Gakpo's illness or virus had gone on for longer. But the fact that Gakpo came back, did really well, looked sharp, I think that there's no question probably in Jurgen Klopp's mind who the starting 11 is going to be against Manchester City. I mean, maybe there's a bit of a doubt over Darwin Núñez. We don't know if he's going to make it back in time. Obviously, he had to pull out. He should be fine, but we don't really know. But even then, I think he'll probably start with Jota or Firmino who've played more games recently, who are a bit more match sharp. And I think that's going to be the starting 11. I think certainly though, having Luis Diaz back is a huge boost. I mean, what a player he is, and if Liverpool, and I'm sure they will in the next few weeks, can get him up to match sharpness, match fitness, and really get him going, then wow, Liverpool do have a very strong attack, and there's a reason why they've scored 9 and 7 goals this season in respective games, and Diaz is going to be another boost to that as well.
Yeah, exactly, Ben. Couldn't say it better myself. So that'll do us for today. Thanks, Ben, for joining me. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll see you again tomorrow.